What's going on, boys? It's your boy Iron Farter here. Today I bring you a guide for Tombs of a Masket. I'm going to be doing two videos for this. First one's going to be a normal level 150 raid, just to get the noobs started. The next video is going to be a 300. I'm not sure yet, I'll figure that out, for more experienced runs. The nice thing here on Ikov, they do have presets for you. You can just put the normal mode, and it sets everything that you really need. Let's just make sure everything looks good. This should be extremely easy, especially on Ikov with our OP gear. Should be a piece of cake. For gear, you're gonna want to bring all switches depending on what your main weapon is going to be. Many people probably won't have a shadow, so you're gonna need better range gear than that. I did used to use a Bofa with full crystal armor, but now that I barely use any range, that is more than enough for me. But that's why I have full mage switches, because I am using the shadow. I want to maximize my DPS with that. Spec weapons, you can bring anything. I used to use a Zarite crossbow before I got Voidwaker. Yeah, any spec weapon will work really. Make sure to always bring a DDS because you will need it for part 2 of Warden. I just bring Thralls to help speed it up. You can bring Ancients and Blood Barrage to heal inside the Baba room, or even kill the little NPCs. Once you go in, you got 4 bosses you need to kill before you can go in to Warden. I always like to do Zebak, then Kefri, and then either this one, Baba, or Akka, just depending on the levels. But we are doing a 150, so they're all going to be level 0. You don't have to worry about it. I like to drop 2 brews here just to get more inventory space before I go in, and they'll still be there when I come out. Now once you start the first room, if you have a timer on, that timer starts. Here in Zebak, you're going to pick up a water container from either side, and you have to run, fill it up from the waterfall. Now you want to avoid those poison. If you take damage running in, that's totally fine. But if you take damage while you're running back to the tree, this will not heal the tree for 100, and you'll have to do more than 2 runs. So most importantly, just follow what I'm doing. Avoid those poison. See, I ran between the 2 waves, so I'm fine. If you're not fast enough, this crocodile will start to attack the tree, and you have to either kill it or just keep going, get more waterfall. So that's the first part of Zebak done. Now we're going in to fight the boss. If you had Bofa and Crystal, you would use that there, but I'm going to be using my full mage. I like the spec before going in, just help speed it up a little bit. You do not have to do this at all. This is why I bring my imbued heart. After you kill 2 of the bosses, 2 rooms completed, you will get supplies from the middle lobby room. I will show that a little more. So this is one of Zebak's special attacks. It will throw these 2. You have to get protection from the earthquake that he's going to send. You are safe up to 3 tiles behind it. So that's 1, 2. I'm on the 3rd one. I'm safe right there. I'm taking no damage at all. If there were no available tiles for you, these jugs that he threw also with the boulders, you have to push it. Push, pull, and you'd have to make a clear spot right behind the boulders. I have these tiles marked because that is the furthest tile you can attack with your shadow from, unless you put it on long range. Just QOL for me. I have that tile marked because that's where the NPC will spawn that will get me out of the room. Also just to speed things up. Nothing really special here. Don't stand in the melee range. That's the first room done. That was extremely easy. For this next room, you have these two lanes, and solos, you only have to do two of the rooms. I'm going to be doing this one and this one. I like to avoid the mirror room, this one, because honestly, I'm not that experienced in it. For this one, you can just look it up on Google. It'll give you a map of all of the possible combinations. So 27 is this pattern right here. You can just Google it and it'll show you which way to run. Go through the tunnel. Now for this one, it'll highlight 5 tiles. You have to follow those 5 exact same tiles, same order that you did them. And that's it for this one. Now for this one, you have to match all the closed tiles with the other side. So I like to open 4 at a time and just memorize them. So you had knives, star, diamond, and eye. You got 2, I already know where those are. Just match the 2 together. If you need any more explanation on them, there are plenty of guides on YouTube that match old school, because this is exactly the same. That room is done. Now we are on to Kefri. Kefri is probably the easiest boss in my opinion. You just have to dodge those fireballs that it throws at you. It will do a... Oh, I just skipped it because I killed it so fast. After the first phase, you just pray range, kill that. And now you use your blowpipe or any range weapon, but blowpipe is the best because it's so fast. And you just kill these scarab swarms. If you don't kill them, it's not that big of an issue, but they will heal Kefri. So you will see right now when Kefri comes back to life, he's barely gonna have any HP. If you don't kill them, Kefri would have been full HP right there. There it is, that's the second phase already. Oh my, this is extremely fast. While you're killing these, this will fly at you every, I'm not sure how often, but commonly there's another one. If you don't move, you will take damage from it. Now this is the final phase of Kefri. And that is Kefri done. If you are taking too long and you get thrown back by Kefri special attacks like that, you want to make sure you don't get yourself trapped in a small area. Always trying to plan accordingly. So now we've completed 2, and we have the helpful spirit right there. For your first one, usually you want to take the power because smelling salts, they're just like overloads. They're very overpowered. I'm just going to drop some more stuff, free up some more space. Now, if you choose which one to do first, it doesn't really matter. Now for the Akka room, if you do not have a pickaxe in your tool belt, you can store one here. I have a dragon one there stored as well, but it's just going to use the one for my tool belt. It does supply a bronze pickaxe if you do not have one at all, so that also works. It just will take some more time. The goal of this is to make that shoot this shielded statue here, and you can rotate the mirror. So that's one, that's two. It's already turning the right way, but say it was turned like that, you just turn it so it goes, makes an angle and shoots there. Now I have to go get the third mirror. These ones are fixed into the ground, you can't pick them up. You can push the mirror as well. And now you just mine this. I will one phase it because I timed it properly and I was standing right next to the pillar when it shot down the other statue. If you are far away, it might cause you to two phase it. I'm gonna stop on purpose just to show you guys a second way because the pattern is always different. So this one, you can see the wall here is completely closed. You can't mine it like the other side. So I'm just gonna do the same thing here. I also need three. Sometimes you will have some fixed ones that have it easier for you. This one's facing the wrong way. I turned it to hit that statue. Now I just need this third mirror. Now facing the wrong way. See, it's gonna go that way. And now I'm just gonna hit the statue. We can finish off the pillar. Akka will always start with melee and range prayer on top, so you're gonna mage it first. You can take out one of your salts, eat that up, and look at my stats. Akka will melee you in this part, so I'm just running away. You don't have to, you will not really take any damage, you can just stay there. Every 20% of Akka's HP, he will spawn these shadows. You have to kill one of them before this timer fills up. If the timer fills up, then he will do a special attack. You'll see it once that's full. Alright, so here you have to follow these patterns that Akka just made. We'll see it again, so I'll explain it more later. So Akka's at 60%, so now we have another shadow. Change attack styles. If you took too long to kill the shadow, there would have been a fourth wave coming in like the one we just saw, and that would just do damage to you, obviously. Any attack style really works on these, but at the higher invocations, shadow is just so much better. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, Akka's at 20%. This is going to be the last phase of that. And then we have the final phase, which is the come phase. Once he does that and you become black, you do not want to move a lot, or at least move like either one tile at a time or two tiles at a time, because if you step on one of those orbs, it will do some damage to you, or they even have a special effect depending what it is. You can only melee this phase, and it's called the come phase because it has all of these. We kind of want to try to avoid them, or you will take damage, just like this one's going to damage me. You can do 3 hits on Akka at each spot before he changes to another corner. Now for the final room, we have the Baba room. I bring chins for this room because I'm not on Ancients, and you will see why. When you first come in, take a hammer. You can do it outside there as well. A hammer and a potion. You're going to have waves of NPCs that you need to kill. And now, either vents or pillars. We got vents. You see the skull. You come here. You just pour that potion on it. If you are doing more than a solo, meaning like a duo or a trio or even more, there are other special attacks. I can't really show them here, but a teammate of yours, he could be poisoned, meaning you have to use that on him. Now we have pillars, you just repair, that's why we pick up the hammer. That is a volatile one. If you are near it, it will damage you. You can just, that's kind of self-explanatory. He's making a venom trail, that's why I like to kill him as soon as possible. This baboon shaman, he spawns the little NPCs, like those ones. That's why I bring my chins. Volatile, so you gotta move away from that. This is why we bring the chins. Obviously, in higher invocation levels, they will spawn a lot more because they have more HP. And you don't want to just sit and kill them one by one. For those of you that didn't know, if you run 2 tiles, like right here, you are skipping that tile. That means you won't take any damage by running over it. If you're not an Uber donator, you do have to bring like a Sandfew or an anti-venom or something. I'm an Uber, so I don't get poisoned. I don't need to. And this is what we bring our chins for. Just gonna clean those up, and this room will be done. That's it. Gonna go back to our melee gear. Eat up if you need to. And this next room begins. Also, just like the Void Waker spec, speed things up. So you want to avoid those pillars that fall down. Once he throws down that pillar, these 2 big rocks will come. He's throwing that boulder at me. You have to stand near one of them. Does those shadows, you have to run away. That's 66% or less than 66. So this is the first phase of the boulders. You always want to attack the highlighted boulder. That will have the least HP. And with any type of decent range gear, you will one-shot it. If you are fast enough, you can run through like I just did. If you are not fast enough, then he will send maybe 5 rounds of boulders. This is the second time. And that is Baba done. Keep in mind your HP and prayer will all fill up to full after each room. So if the room is almost over, you don't have to waste supplies. And now we can go into the end. Helpful Spirit comes in one last time. Usually you're going to take life. That has all the potions that will help you for HP and just everything. I'll talk more about the items when I get inside. Now obviously I haven't used any supplies at all, so I need to free up some space. But for the first phase, you have that obelisk. Once you begin here, you're going to have to kill that obelisk. I recommend always just sticking to this side. That means that one's going to spawn, and at the final boss, once we finish it, you're going to have 2 bosses attacking you with Warden. They are going to be Zebak and Baba. If you stand on this side, it's going to be Akka and Kefri. At the lower levels, you can do this side. At the higher levels, you just want to skip that. You'll see why in the next video when I do a higher invocation level. You want to tank some of these red balls that are going to be coming to this side so they don't charge up at the same time. If they do, then this whole area here is going to be filled with pillars that will do damage to you and you can't dodge them. But by blocking it, you'd stand here and then you'll be able to move. I'll show that also as well. Alright, let's get ready. Let's put everything back in and explain what they do. So salt, we already know what that does. It's an overload. Liquid adrenaline, this will make you use only half of your special attack. So say you're using a dragon dagger, which is usually 25%, it will only take 12.5, or I think it's 12% actually, but it's half. Ambrosia, it will fully heal you and your prayer up to 125. Obviously if you're maxed, just 1 sip of that, you have 2 sips. This is like a prayer renewal, but much faster. It will fill up your prayer from like 30 to 90 within 10 seconds. Silk dressing, this is, you're only going to have it in the lower invocations, but this will do the same thing, but for your HP, it'll heal you. And that's pretty much it. These are obviously brews, and these are restores. I'm going to start off with some Void Waker specs just to speed it up. And then you're either going to Shadow or Crystal and Bofa, whatever you got. So as you can see, I'm taking some damage. You're at 75 HP, that's enough. You can move back here to that one tile. That one's charging up the first wave of pillars coming down there. That's why you're safe over here. But see, that's the next one. Those would both come down at the same time if you don't stand and block some of those red spots, the red balls that were going towards the Tumikins. Now, first phase, you have to mage this one. He does not come towards you, so you can always safely just stand here. It helps avoid all of the special attacks. That one over there, he will run towards you. That was fast. So you can do 6 hits on this first phase. 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure if I'm going to get 6. I was a bit slow. We're safe. I'm going to try to tank this one. Well, not try, but I'm going to tank some more hits just so we can see special attacks. That one you want to move from, he will freeze you in that spot for a few seconds. Now, obviously in this case, nothing would have happened, but if there are other special attacks happening at the same time, it can cause you to die. Alright, these skulls, they will make a square around them, but it has a, those are the safe tiles, like 1, 2, 3. You could just kind of see how Warden's just throwing everything at you. He threw one of those at me. That turns off your prayer and you have to pray again, just like at Ulm and Chambers. See what else he's gonna throw at us. Alright, this is the reason why I like this tile. It's right next to you. You just gotta move one tile like that, then you can go back to your tile. There it is. You can move one tile, move back. There is one more set of special attacks, and I'm pretty sure that will sum it all up. That's another one. I just want to show you guys that one before I kill Warden, because that will be the last time you'll see this one. Alright, perfect. So here, that's another special attack. Once it's on that tile, you want to step. If you're slower, you will get hit and your prayer will turn off for maybe 3 seconds. If your prayer goes off, I mean, I don't know if it can on this level, but Warden can usually hit like easily 25s. Yeah, you're not gonna die from this. It's only barely hitting. Alright, let's finish this off. Yep, that's another one. Make sure to drink your adrenaline potion again, because we are going back into spec. Alright, that's it for this. I'm going to be using Shadow. If you had both on Crystal, you'd use that. So here, I have this tile mark because that's the middle. Warden's going to be sending out earthquakes just like this. It's always the same pattern. 1, 2, middle. So you just have to stay in these 3 over here. Follow that. Now, every 20%, he's going to spawn skulls just like this. Put whatever melee weapon you have on, and you just move between them and kill them. There it is, just tanking these. That's all you gotta do, move between these 3 tiles. You can do this from anywhere. Alright, now that the second wave has spawned, Zebak will spawn as well. And you just gotta change your prayers while killing Warden. There it is, Mage. Oh, I went too fast. You can see I just got hit there. Back to range pray. Now that Baba has also spawned, you don't want to stand where that boulder is going down. Alright, this is the last wave of these. Alright, we have reached the final phase. For this, I remember when I used to panic, so I can just imagine you guys are going to panic as well. I hope I didn't just kill it there. Okay, oh man. I was going to explain a little bit. For this part, just ignore Warden's HP. Just focus on the tiles, and these. I like to stay on this side because you can see Zebak's attacks, and you can change your prayer accordingly. But you just gotta move between the tiles. The little lightning that shows up, you'll see me doing this more on the video of the 300 plus. Just focus on those and dodging the boulder coming down at you. don't worry about like his damage and start stressing out. Just focus on the ground, keep moving, and you'll get a hang of it. I didn't expect to get a purple. Drop rates 150 are extremely bad. What's that Zamfir timer at? I'll miss that Zamfir just for you boys. Let's make it into one video. Now, if you run an expert, it will set it at 300. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to run my normal 455. Core jog for it. I'm going to explain what this does. So softcore, that if you just hold your mouse over each one, it'll tell you what it does. So basically, if I die once, I get kicked out of the raid. I put a 35-minute timer. No help needed. That means you get the bare minimum of supplies. Pathfinder, all the bosses are going to be leveled up to level 2 when you enter, and they will level up because of this. What else do we put on? Aerial assault. Now, Kefri's attack is going to have a 3x3 radius, I believe. Upset stomach. Stay vigilant, mind the gap, boulder dash. There we are, we're at 455. Alright, let's just get right into it. I'm going to be following the same thing I'm doing. I'm going to drop 2 brews for inventory space, and we're going into Zebak. I'll explain everything same way I did the first video. Pick up your water container and run to the waterfalls. Same thing, and just avoid the poison spots. Don't forget the crocodile. If you're learning, I'd assume you're not going to be able to do it fast enough. It has 30 HP, so you always want to kill it. See, poison was going down there, so I just moved over to this side. And that's that. You got the boulder. That's range prey. Still range. He just did a blood barrage. That's why I changed to mage. And then a mage attack. Upset stomach causes more poison. Now say you didn't have a free space. You'd have to throw that to open up a space from the poison. But I didn't even have to do that because I'm safe right here. You can already see that this is going to take longer because all the bosses are level 2 already, and they will level up even further. Now the gap in the wall becomes smaller in the higher invocation levels. Still very easy. Like you saw that first tile, I was able to skip it just by running. Now these blood splats, they will damage you, so you want to run away from them. There it is, that was very easy. Zarite crossbow works extremely well over here as well. But Void Waker, I just like it more for Baba, Kefri, Akka, so it's not really worth it bringing it just for Zebak. See, I have that tile open there, but if we really needed to, there it is. I got that tile open from the jug. We got the blood splats again. You see how I'm taking damage? That's fine, you can just tank them for a little bit. Once Zebak gets to below 20 HP, 20% HP, you can see he's starting to shoot much faster. Just make sure you focus on switching your prayers at the same time. It is very easy to die if you just lose focus for a few seconds. Next up, Kefri. Same thing, we have the mirrors there, so I'm just going to skip that. Good part about this run, I didn't get that same one like the last run. You're going to be able to see that one there as well. If you are doing duos or trios or whatever, you do have to do all the rooms, so someone's going to have to do that. But this is a guide just for solos. Now for this one, you have to light all of the pillars just like that one is. You have to just sit and try all of them and memorize the pattern. Like that's 1, 2. Nope, gotta start over. 1, 2, start over. There it is. That's all of them lit up. Now this one we already went over. So you got W, star, diamond, boot. Got W and boot. Already know where those are. Knives, that's the only one we didn't open. That's how we know it's up there. And this is done. Now we're on to Kefri. Now the different part now in Kefri is that it has aerial assault on. So you can't just move one tile at a time. You actually have to move more than that. There it is. I like to rush to this tile because I'm going to get pushed back. Standing on this one, it creates a nice little barrier between the melee one and the mage one that spawns. Now this one that flies at you, it also has a radius, so you don't want to stand in that either. You see, things are more tanky and have more HP on this run. See, Kefri's healing up because this was taking a while. Now Kefri will spawn these eggs. You don't really have to do anything about them, but they will explode on Kefri's second attack, just like that. And it spawns these little agile scarabs. Just prey range and you don't have to worry about them. Right. The major will will hop from side to side. You do not want to let the full attack charge up, because then it will do a powerful mage attack. That's why I always kill it first. Now let's just kill this melee. Kefri already healed up to full, so I'm not even going to bother killing the scarab swarms. Beautiful 100 from the Void Waker, that's why I like to bring it. I'm going to get knocked back soon from Kefri. That's why I was telling you to plan it accordingly, especially if you're doing duos, it becomes even worse. Because you can get you and your team stuck. The corners are always nice to camp, because if I get pushed back here again, it's just going to push me back here. It's not going to make a whole new line and just make the map smaller for you guys to run around. Alright, that's Kefri done. I am on a 35-minute timer, so I cannot sit around and explain as much as I'd like to. Now you can't really see it because of the stats behind it, but I have both Baba and Akka at level 3. So if I had one of them level 4, I'd do that one first. They do level up randomly. I'm just going to do Baba first, because level 4 Akka, in my opinion, is easier than level 4 Baba. I like to open up space just to make my switches clean and easy. You can use Assault if you want to, but we are limited to only one salt for this whole run. So I have 18 minutes because I have the extended timers from Town Board. But I used an Ancient Combat Flask and Imbued Heart, so I'll save my salt so I don't run out. See, everything's got more HP compared to the last run. You can already see the thralls starting to stack up. That's why it's nice to have Chins or Barrage. And that's the room complete. Alright, now I'm gonna use assault. Spawn the shadow. Gonna dodge that. The boulders come down faster because Baba is a higher level now. He's throwing boulder at you. I do have mind the gap on. Mind the gap means if you are standing inside these tiles that are marked or in that gap, once he pushes you down at 66%, you will die. Very simply. There it is. Did not see that shadow. I'm taking damage. Now, if you have spec and you need HP and you're running low on bruise, using blowpipe spec on these boulders is very good. It heals you for a good amount. We have boulder dash on, so they are much faster, but you can still skip them very easily, just like that. I'm gonna put this back in the bag so I don't use it by accident. That will be very disappointing. It's always nice. Oh my, that was fast. Never mind. But it's always nice to run as far down as you can because you will take a less of a stun when he throws you down. And there it is. Now you can kill these baboons if you want, because as you can see, they're opening up those sarcophagus, and they will start to do damage, like by throwing fire at you. Now if it's just two like that, honestly you can just ignore it, but if they're gonna start opening more than that, I do recommend you start killing them, because having too many of them, that will be pretty annoying. Always stay near these. That's Baba done. See, I didn't eat because I knew I was gonna kill it up, finish it off, and I got my HP back. Now to the final room. I don't need the chins anymore. If you need supplies, just pick up what you dropped at the beginning. I know I don't need them, so I'm just gonna leave them there. So I did the same exact one the first time. However, they do have some fixed ones here, so I can't do it exactly the same way. But still, same idea. Just gonna make an angle so they go in there. Get that third mirror. You don't always have to use all three of your mirrors. That orb is gonna hit me. I'm gonna take some damage. On old school, you can move and not lose a tick of mining. I'm not sure if you can on Ikov. I've never tried. But I always have so much extra supplies, so I don't even worry about it. There we go. Gonna eat up. Now that Akka is level 4, and my shadow is guaranteed to have the best damage, I will try to run away because when Akka attacks you, that's how he changes his attack styles and the prayer. I don't want him to change his prayer. And also the memory phase, where you have to move around in the middle. He's now going to do 6 phases because he is level 4. If he's level 2, I'm not sure if level 1 as well, you will have 5. So you just gotta kind of memorize. You'll get the hang of it. Everything's going to be at a much faster pace at the higher levels. You will see that these will be faster. The earthquake at Warden's going to be faster as well. And here comes the memory phase. 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is, just as simple as that. Concept and everything still exactly the same. Every 20%, a shadow's you're gonna have to kill one of the shadows. He did change attack style, so make sure you change your prayer. This is taking, I'm hitting very bad. I'm most likely gonna get hit by this. Yep. Oh, that memory phase actually saved me. 4, 5. Oh, oh no, I'm gonna die. See, it's perfectly fine to make mistakes. Just don't panic and focus on the movements you're doing. You just start panic eating, that will out DPS you and you will die. Forgot to pray melee, and you can see we paid for that. You will get like a renewal from the overload or the salt. 5, 6. As I was saying, you will get a renew your stats from the salt every 15 seconds. So if you're drinking your brews and you want to time it accordingly, it does help a lot. I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time using this many brews. But I'm just not that focused while explaining at the same time. But that's fine, we don't really have anything to worry about. I'm not sure if Mage Prayer actually helps at all, but I'm just force a habit, I guess you could say, that I use it. As you can see, just avoiding the white balls. When I'm running, I don't really try to avoid them. But when I'm attacking Akka, that's when I will try. There it is, that's completed. Now we're going on to the final boss. You can see my supplies are much less than what I had in the first run. But let's be real, you don't really need them all. Same thing. I'm going to tank for a bit longer because I did not drink a brew a little bit earlier. There it is. Now, Elidinus, it's going to throw a special attack at me. There it is. And this one's going to throw on right after. If you do not kill the obelisk in time, it will do around 70 damage or so in total. So just keep that in mind. Now the pillars are spawning again. But that's done. Don't get hit by those. Take that time to brew up. Spawn your thralls, and let's just kill this guy. Now this one we went over it. Just gotta move back. That should be down. There it is. You can do 6 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I can get ready. Brew up. Absorption potion. The adrenaline is almost over. Now, if you are using a ZCB or any type of spec weapon on Warden on the final phase, you can wait just before it dies to get that extra time out of it. But I'm just camping my shadow, so I don't have to worry about that. I only need it for here. Just poke it to death with the Grazi, and we are ready. You are going to realize that the waves are much faster. And with Insanity on, every time the skulls happen, the waves don't reset the same way they did in the first run. First run, you can always stand on this tile after the skulls and you're safe. With this one on, Insanity, it goes off of where it happened last. So 80% is coming up, and you'll be able to see it. So it did the right side last, just before the skulls. That means this middle tile is going to be a safe spot. Now, if you're standing back here, you don't really have to worry about where you're standing, because you'll have time to react before it actually happens. It's almost less than 60. There it is. So that means the right side is going to be the safe side now. Prey range from Zibak. Right mage. Same thing, middle tile is going to be the same safe spot now after skulls are done. You want to make sure you don't get hit by Baba's boulders when they're coming down. Final wave of skulls is coming up. There it is. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying attention where the final wave is, but there it is. Even if it was to that side, you have more than enough time to react, so you don't really have to worry about memorizing where the final wave was sent. Alright, Warden healed up a little bit. Now let's talk about what we were saying. Just focus on those shadows, look at where the boulder's coming down. Just focus on that part. See, I'm taking no damage at all. If you ever do panic, don't forget your, look at that, I'm back to 125 everything. But I did that without taking any damage, very simple. Now let's see if we get a purple. Unlucky. I've never gotten a purple on any of my guides. You guys are bad luck to me. Let's open that chest. That brings us to a conclusion, boys. If you have any questions, just look it up on Google, YouTube. There's plenty of guides and it's almost identical. You can PM me in game if I'm online. My private's always on. You can PM me on Discord. My Discord's just farter1. Gonna type it out just like that, no uppercase or anything. I'll be more than happy to help. Peace, boys.